Hello YouTubers, welcome back for my final Watchmen figure review. You know how they say you're supposed to save the best for last? I feel like I kinda did that, because I really like the comedian. You know, his character wasn't my favorite. After watching the movie, I kinda grew to like him better, but this figure is my favorite of all of them. Again, the sculpt is perfect. I love the fact that on his face they included the scar that he gets in Vietnam. And he's got his little cigar that he's always smoking. And I love the fact that they included his his custom guns that he uses in the film a couple times. But this is a very balanced figure. He stands well. He doesn't need his base. I display them all with the bases for the ones that do need them. And he's perfectly detailed. If you look at movie stills, they match up flawlessly. He's got his little button right here in the corner. His comedian badge that he wears in the movie. Let's see. I really can't compliment this guy enough but I will sound very repetitive if I do. So I'm going to go into his articulation. He does have his standard, ball joint as a head, which allows for acceptable movement of the head. This is what a figure should be able to do. And I like how the ball joint, like I said, is at the base of the skull rather than the base of the neck, as with Silk Spectre, because it allows for a better range of motion. He also has ball joints on both arms, which allow for very dynamic poses with the guns that he can put in his hands, and a standard Y joint for his hips, again, allows for very dynamic posing. This is one of the best figures for that kind of display, and I've always been a fan of action displays. I love figures when they have good articulation and can be displayed in a dynamic sense. Most of the figures in this series can't really do that. I mean, they can do it to a degree, but the comedian here does it the best. Moving on with his articulation, he has the standard pin joints for his elbows and his knees, and he has wrist articulation at his, a cut joint. I forgot what it was called there for a second, at his wrist. Now, here's where he gets a little bit of an edge on everybody else. He also has a cut joint right above his boot. That was probably because the boots were sculpted separately and then added on there, which I don't care how it got there, the articulation's there, and it's perfect, because it is what mostly allows for his dynamic posing. And as you can see, he stands up well, no matter how you, he stands up very well, no matter how you stand him. Unless you do something crazy that requires extra support, like they say in all those weird commercials for figures. But, moving on from that, his paint job is done pretty good. I do have a paint scuff here and there, but I'm pretty sure that is just my figure. And I love the paint details they have. He's got his graying hair, like I said, the scar on his face, and the guns. I'm going to take one out of his hand so we can get a better look at it. The guns on the sides of them have the comedian trademark smiley face and a message: "Have a nice day." such a nice little addition right there, because they could have just not included it since it's such a small detail. I know it's really hard to see, but maybe you can get it in there a little bit. But it's it's so rewarding when they add little things like that. They make the figures that much better and that much more collectible. Now, I'm gonna give him a 10, just like Ozzy, because I love his details and his articulation. And that leads me to the conclusion of my review. Normally, for a series, I would add them all together and just get a numerical total for the, the end all, like the actual score of the entire series. But since I'm not collecting two of them, Silk Spectre Classic and Night Owl Classic, even though they look phenomenal, I'm just not interested unless they do the rest of the Minutemen, which I kind of hope they do. I'm just going to give this entire series an 8, because there were some good figures, and then there were some that just failed to live up to the expectation. Yep, I'm definitely talking about you, Silk Spectre. So if I had to rank them from, top to bottom, it's definitely my favorite figure. Then it's Rorschach. Even though he got a lower score, I still like him. Night Owl. Yeah, well, actually, as you kind of saw, Ozzy just got shanked. But no, after Night Owl, it's Dr. Manhattan, Ozzy, and last but not least, oh, maybe least, Silk Spectre 2, or Modern. But thank you for holding out, and watching the reviews. Leave comments in the comments section for these videos if you care to. If you bought the figures and want to add something that I missed or something that you noticed about my review, please do. Thanks for watching. This was Matthew Mead, and I will see you again next time I have something to say.